Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. One phone call by Spencer Dutton finally has me excited about 1923 Season 2 Episode 5's ending. A single phone call by Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklenar, in 1923 Season 2, Episode 5 makes me very excited for the end of Taylor Sheridan's show. Spencer's long journey back to Montana has been a major focus all season long, but the show has also been stalling on it. There have been so many setbacks, from Spencer's bootlegging misadventure to his run-in with the homeless people on the train. And it seems like every step he takes towards Montana includes 2 steps back. Luckily, the ending of 1923 Season 2, Episode 5 finally made some progress in getting Spencer home. In 1923 Season 2, Episode 5, Spencer was arrested by Marshal Mamie Fawcett, Jennifer Carpenter, which actually turned out to be a blessing. Fawcett saved Spencer from dying of dehydration out in the West Texas plains, but she also demanded that he call someone in Montana to prove his identity and confirm that he wasn't a fugitive. She took Spencer back to Amarillo and had him call Sheriff McDowell, Robert Patrick, in Bozeman. That decision finally made the final of 1923 Season 2 clearer, and it painted a very exciting picture of what's to come. Spencer's phone call with Sheriff McDowell felt like a real turning point for 1923 Season 2. In that one moment, everything that needed to get started for the finale of the show and the war for the Yellowstone finally began. McDowell is going to tell Jacob Harrison Ford and Kara Helen Mirren that Spencer is on his way so they can prepare, and Mamie Fawcett puts Spencer on a train to Montana, which is more progress than he's had all season long. All that stands between 1923 and the thrilling war for the Yellowstone Ranch is a hopefully uneventful train ride. Because of that one phone call, 1923 has finally set up the story we've wanted to see since 2023. The pieces are all in place, and we're finally ready to see Spencer go toe-to-toe with Banner Creighton, Jerome Flynn, and Donald Whitfield, Timothy Dalton. That development came just in time, too, as 1923 Season 2 has just 2 episodes remaining. At this point, I don't think it's possible for Taylor Sheridan to stall Spencer any further, and the war for the Yellowstone is almost inevitable. With one phone call, most of Spencer's troubles vanished, and it was an astonishingly easy fix to being arrested by a U.S. Marshal. It was so simple that it actually begs the question, why didn't Spencer just call Sheriff McDowell sooner? The simple answer is that Spencer didn't have the time. As soon as he got off the boat, Spencer was dealing with the mafia, which ended with him getting roped into bootlegging. Then he was on the run from the law, and the only chance he really had to send word to Montan was when he sent a telegraph that still hasn't been read. On top of just not having a chance to call, there's a good chance Spencer didn't even think to call. The last time Spencer was in Montana was when he left to fight in World War I, presumably in about 1917. As he's noted several times, America was a very different place then, and Spencer may not have thought that he could reach the Duttons by telephone. Additionally, he likely thought that the telegraph he sent in 1923 Season 2, Episode 2 would be good enough. In any case, Spencer's arrival in Montana is finally in motion, and 1923 Season 2 is finally ready for its finale. Let's be honest, 1923 hasn't always moved at the fastest pace. In fact, at times it's felt like trudging through the snowy peaks of Montana with a broken wagon wheel and a stubborn mule. But that changed in a big way with Season 2, Episode 5, thanks to one moment that's still echoing in my head like a gunshot in the canyon, a single phone call from Spencer Dutton. Now, that was the call we've been waiting for. For much of the series, Spencer Dutton has been a character carved from shadow and smoke, haunted by war, distant in geography and emotion, almost mythic in the way others speak of him. He's a Dutton, sure, but he's also a ghost, drifting across continents, hunting dangerous game, and dragging behind him a trail of grief and grit. When he finally began his long journey back to Montana, fans collectively held their breath. Would he make it in time? Would he even make it at all? But Episode 5 gave us more than just a travel update. It gave us a moment, the kind that sticks with you. The episode had been building its quiet tension like kindling. Jacob Dutton was rallying forces on the ranch. Kara was holding the homestead together with the sheer force of her will, and the looming threat of Donald Whitfield hung over everything like a storm cloud threatening hail. Then the phone rang. That's it, just a ring. But in the world of 1923, a phone call means something monumental. This isn't a text or a fast time. It's not a quick casual check-in. It's a lifeline, a bridge between continents, a message sent over thousands of miles of wire and worry. It's communication made sacred by the difficulty of making it happen. When the operator finally connected the call, and we heard Spencer's voice for the first time in what felt like forever, it was electric. His voice crackled, not just with static but with emotion. He wasn't calling to say hello. He was calling to say he's coming, for real this time, and suddenly, all the threads began to pull tight. We'd seen Spencer battling his demons on the other side of the world. We'd seen him lose Alexandra, at least temporarily, to the British aristocracy. We'd watched him wrestle with grief, duty, and the growing sense that the war he left behind in Europe might pale in comparison to the one waiting at home. But in that call, all that doubt dropped away. He sounded sure. He sounded ready. What really sealed it for me wasn't just what Spencer said. It was what it meant for everyone else. Kara's reaction on the other end of the line, the mix of shock, joy, and immediate resolve, was breathtaking. Helen Mirren continues to carry so much of the show's emotional weight, and in that single moment, she let us feel the full burden she's been shouldering since Spencer left. She wasn't just hearing from a nephew, she was hearing from a lifeline, reinforcements, hope. And then there's Jacob. For all his gruffness, he's been hanging on by a thread. Watching him perk up at the news of Spencer's impending arrival, you could see a flicker of the old fire returning. It wasn't just about surviving anymore. Now it was about fighting with someone instead of for someone. A Dutton coming home is a shift in the power dynamic, and Jacob knows it. But what really excites me about this moment is what it promises for the end of the season. Spencer isn't coming back as the broken man who left. He's hardened, yes, but also focused. He's been forged by fire, and now he's bringing that fire home. And Whitfield, he should be sweating. Because when Spencer lands in Montana, whether on horseback, foot, or somehow still soaked from a shipwreck, the balance of power is going to shift violently. The episode's ending cuts just after the call, leaving us breathless. That's what made it so brilliant. It's not a cliffhanger in the usual sense. No one is dangling over a literal edge, no guns are drawn mid-shot, but it leaves us with something just as powerful: anticipation. The sense that the storm is finally about to break. It's been a slow burn. Spencer's Odyssey has taken us across oceans and deserts, through romance and tragedy, and at times it's felt like the narrative was testing our patience. But this call made it all worth it. It reconnected not just the characters but the storylines. Suddenly, everything matters more. Every scene feels sharper, every glance heavier, because now we know Spencer is in motion, and when a Dutton is in motion, the land itself seems to shift. There's also a poetic weight to the timing. We're deep into Season 2, and Episode 5 is often where shows pivot. It's the eye of the storm, the moment when the tension can't stretch any further without snapping. Spencer's phone call was that snap, and now all we can do is brace for the fallout.